trouble. G.I. Joe is
Yeah, here's the problem with our intro is I really get this song going in my head every single time, and it cuts out real short.
Nice.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know if you have a dog, but sometimes they'll come up to you. They'll sneak up and like lick your fingers.
Oh,
Jesus. Yeah, I have a golden retriever, and like that's his little way of saying it's time to pet me, motherfucker.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. It's his own watchdog timer.
Yeah.
So morning.
Good morning. I gotta make sure I'm not. Yeah, I don't want sound trickling over from other pages. I'm sorry.
Okay. Morning,
Yeah,
Nico.
Good morning.
Good
Good
to
morning.
see you.
Good morning. Yeah, I got that coffee, baby.
Excellent.
This is only like my second cup, so 6 to go.
Impressive.
I wish I was kidding. Yeah. So hey, welcome guys. I think last week we were talking about the Scorpion Desert Patrol vehicle, and I was like, we haven't done a build stream in a while. We might as well tweak that a little bit.
Well, so
And
there's the latest version.
I get you up in the big screen.
Okay. Yeah, it's moving along again. Added some armor plating to
Oh,
it.
nice.
Up in the
That's interesting. Like, so, this morning I was pulling up pictures, trying to just get a couple of like good pictures of what the engine area looks like.
Yep.
And there's a couple of like ones with armor plating on them that look really cool.
Yeah.
So good.
And the armor plating, I don't know how common the armor plating is, but if you remember the history of this project, it originally, before I even knew this was a real vehicle, it started as the Disavowed had a vehicle like this, and it specifically had the armor plating on the back and around the upper area. So as it's moving along, I started with the real
It must be the French version.
Could be.
Because the armor's in the back.
Yeah.
Because they're running away. Okay.
Yeah. Well, the crazy thing too, I don't know if you've seen from the pictures of the actual vehicle, but you can rotate the chair 180 degrees, and there's typically an M60 mounted as an escape. I assume it's for fast escapes. So it's a different configuration for the getaway.
Interesting. So I think the way we're going to do this morning, we'll jump over to Fusion 360. We'll look at some pictures. Mike's got a bamboo. I have a bamboo. A lot of people in the group have a bamboo. So, I mean, even if you don't have a bamboo, I think most people are still rocking FDM and printing in PLA. We're going to kind of build this with that in mind, versus just making something and assuming everyone has completely different machines. And
yep.
There's parts about how Mike has designed this that just will not work with resin. And I'm talking about the roll cage, the way you've got it so it can bend and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Resin's not going to do that.
Exactly. Yeah, my intention for this whole project is FDM. It's being designed for FDM. Some of the techniques will only work in FDM, like like you said, the folding roll cage, the belt for the grenade launcher that can only be done in FDM.
Yeah.
Unless there's a way of stopping a resin printer and being able to, insert dental floss, which I'm pretty sure there's not, unless you kind of float it.
You would have to be able to. You could design it with a gap that the dental floss can go into. I think technically it could be done.
Yeah.
But it would be messy, and I think more likely to fail. Because
I think so too. Yeah.
It would have to be so perfectly designed that when you kind of slot because it would come up on the plate, you'd have to slot the dental floss in after you manually paused it at exactly the correct spot, which you can't see because it's way too small. Like that whole build plate surface will be submerged.
Yep.
When you're, Now, most of the printers that I have, like you can look at it and see, like it'll show on the screen, like a flash image of just the layer that's being printed.
Mhm.
I suspect, I have not considered this at all, so I'm just thinking out loud. Um, you could watch the layer come up. You could see when it starts to have the gap that you've designed in.
Yep.
Let it do a couple, and then you'd have to put the dental floss in there.
Yeah.
Hope that it squeezes as much cured resin out as possible. Maybe bring it up and around and tape it down.
Yeah. And then drop it back down and
Let
then
it go
hope
back down and hope that it cures and holds
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
But I think the difference you might have is that the FDM isn't going to like penetrate the Teflon of the dental floss.
Right.
That resin will and cure in place.
True.
So yeah, it'd be an interesting experiment that I'm not going to do.
No, I would not recommend doing that. It's hard enough with FDM just stopping it halfway and trying to get the dental floss lined up.
The real big concern for me is if you don't stop it at exactly the right layer height.
Mm-hmm.
When the build plate comes down, if it's protruding past the surface of where you paused it,
Yeah.
you're going to screw up your FEP, and you're possibly going to mess up your LCD screen.
Yeah. All reasons
like
to do this.
Not worth it.
Nope.
Not worth it. That's my final conclusion.
Yep.
Yeah. So, with very much FDM in mind, which probably what, a 0.4 nozzle?
I do everything with a 0.4 nozzle.
Yeah.
Is what I aim
and like that's what my machine came with, and I haven't messed with it, and I have no intentions of doing so.
Yep.
So it's about knowing the print orientation we want, giving it detail but not too much, or not that it doesn't get detail, but that it's not too fine.
Yeah.
And I'll show you the example I'm thinking of for that.
Okay.
I'm fucking with the
with pack rats. Nice.
All right. So on the pack rat, I'm gonna make me big. Hold on.
Okay.
And when we go over to Fusion, I'll pull this up so you can see it. Over right there,
mm-hmm.
and right here, those lines. That's like a steel cable, like the tow cable on the like the Wolverine and stuff.
Okay.
It's like that. I suspect it's much smaller. I don't know if this will really come into focus, but there's the original. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's really translating focus wise, but it's a cable. I'm gonna get it up on Fusion.
Okay.
So I can show you. This is important. We do our little designs and everything, but I don't know that we really talk about like how do we dial in the correct amount of detail. I don't know that we've really given that a lot of focus.
Not really. Yeah, as you can see, so this is the filler engine that I have, and I got a timing wheel, I got a timing chain, and I just kind of threw parts at it to make it sort of look like an engine, because ultimately my intention for this is that it is a toy, it is not a model, right? But it's still really, really basic that I just did as a filler. Now, one of the interesting things I should go ahead and point out is the way that the engine works in the stack up of the vehicle is it sits on the back of the vehicle, and the primary part of the vehicle is a large flat plane, and then I take the axle, and the axle actually goes up and is a snap fit that just snaps it all together. So the two parts, the axle and the engine, they self-assemble. They actually hold each other in place into the final toy.
That's no kidding, Mike. That's some G.I.JOE, a real American hero, 80s design shit.
Exactly. That was the that was the plan on this thing. Is I want it to be like a toy, like a manufactured toy that ultimately my goal is I don't want to have to glue anything together. I want anything that is a colored part to be a separate part that can be printed on its own. No painting, no gluing, just everything snaps and pops. And I mean, it's not great pops. It's just friction fits. It's nowhere near like what they did in the G.I. Joe, because with injection molded plastic parts, you get a lot more give. You can have, little snap fan, like even this, you can see one of my original designs was I tried to do these little snaps. It just doesn't work in FDM. Once you bend it in one direction, it doesn't pop back to the original direction, like injected molded plastic would do. So now I've just made, and you'll see when you bring up the parts, it's just a big block that goes into a big rectangle, and the sides are right up against each other. So you just apply a little pressure and they lock themselves together. Actually, I think one of the reasons they lock themselves together so good is just the nature of FDM printing, where you get those ridges and you get the line.
No kidding.
So that actually gives you the friction that holds the pieces together.
So I noticed that recently with the swab skiers I was doing. There's there's male female parts that go together, and I couldn't understand. Like, it was hard to get it in there, and it was really hard to pull it out. But it's like once it starts to move, it just goes.
It just goes, yeah.
But yeah, but you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel the of those ridges like rubbing against each other when you slot them together.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's an unintentional benefit for something like this, that it just kind of it helps make up that tolerance.
It's nice too that this thing is meant to be modular. It's meant to be something you can customize and change.
Yep.
So hey, so and so created. I know one guy was working on like tracks, like treads for it.
Yes. Yeah. He turned his version into a tank, which was very cool. So it used the top portion of the vehicle, and then he added treads to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping once I get to a point where I release the files again, that I'm really going to advertise it and explain better what it is. And I don't know if you ever saw the design guide that I put out, but as I came up with ideas of how do the chairs interface, I have a PDF that's out there that is like, okay, make a square of this big protruding this high from your surface, and then make a cavity of this depth and this size on the chair, and then that's the snap fit.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right, I'm gonna pull this up kind of back to what we had been talking about. So that's how I did the cable.
Wow.
And like that looks cool.
Yeah.
Almost completely lost on the print.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
See, I have it in a couple places. You can ask me about measurements.
Yep.
No idea. Let's look.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have, in my testing, I found that if you create something that is less than 0.5 millimeters, it usually disappears in the print with FDM.
And this is 0.77777.
Yeah, that's gonna. Well, that should be big enough because it's larger than 0.5, but then it's the shape of it too, because you're gonna lose, even though the distance from your major points on that are
it's the distance from the trough to the rise here is really that's the thing I should be measuring, and it's clearly less than that.
Yes,
by a lot.
And what happens too is the shape. If it was a square of that size, perfectly fine, it would show up. Now is that point? Yeah, that's 0.77. Yeah, that would exist. The problem is now you've got curvature to it, and what was 0.77 is getting smaller and smaller and smaller, so it just disappears in the print.
And the only way I know of that, because the measure tool goes from point to point or a line to a line.
Yeah.
But this isn't a line. This is a curve. Yeah. So I would have to measure. How I have always done this for this type of situation is I draw a box and I just look to see what it says.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Did I click it? Just forgot. All right. So kind of from here to, yeah, that's just nothing. It's 0.1,
Yeah.
0.125 or so.
Yeah, 0.1
So,
is gone. It's and do you always check in your slicer beforehand? So, like in the bamboo, prepare your part, run it through the slicer, and then you can see it's really nice that you can see what is and what is not going to be represented in the plastic after the print. So when I'm experimenting with something, a lot of time, I don't actually have to run it and print a part because I've done it enough times. I can just look in the slicer, run it, and know what parts are just gone.
okay. So I just did a quick Google search for Desert Patrol vehicle engine.
Yep.
Amazingly, it got a lot of pictures of the Desert Patrol vehicle that we're working on. I was impressed by that, but no one's pointing their cameras at the engine.
Yeah.
Not really. Like there's a couple like this one, kind of tough to really know what the hell is happening back there. There's some exhaust piping.
Yeah, it's kind of a really complicated, weird thing.
Yeah, and it's not standardized. Is the other thing.
Yeah.
Like at all. There was like this one I kind of like, but it's a terrible picture.
Yeah, okay. I can send you a picture that I've been using as a model for this.
Sure. But I do want to point out there's a couple of things, because it's a toy. It's not going to work. We're not printing 300 little things and assembling it like a model kit. We're doing one block.
Yep.
With some detail, and it needs to go where it needs to go, and just not be something that kind of knocks us out of our suspension of disbelief of what it is. So have some good details, have things that make sense, but don't go crazy. So there's a couple things that in my mind I want this to have. On this one, can I? Come on. All right.
And so I just sent you the picture.
That's not showing up.
What's that?
I had clicked on this image. I can't see the podcast and the images I'm trying to show at the same time.
Oh, I see.
So you can see my mouse circling around on this image over here, right?
Yes.
All right. This piece right here, that's an air filter, period. I don't think that's a carburetor sticking up like that. I think it's just an air intake. Yep. I like that. Mike's already got hoses kind of programmed in. He's got a spot where I would say like, oh, that's the fuel tank, and it makes sense. He's got like a belt on a lot of the images. Let me see if I can find one of the ones I like. You can see what I suspect is like the alternator.
Yep.
So I want that. It's funny how many 3D designs of this thing there are.
Oh yeah. Until I started looking at it, I had no idea. I didn't even know it was a real vehicle. I saw it in the Disavowed, and I was like, oh, that's a cool vehicle that they created for this thing. And I started looking up military dune buggy, and it's like, I see where the inspiration was for it.
Yeah.
So I sent you a picture of an engine model that I found.
You put it in our chat? Oh,
yep, yeah, sure. I put it in the chat. And that is I forget what company makes it, but I'm looking for it now. There's a company that just made a 6-inch all striker equivalent.
Yeah.
I want to say it's their hobby model or model hobby or something like that. It's a beautiful looking vehicle. If you haven't seen that thing, it's incredible. It's not the I forget what they called it though. Fans Hobby. But that was one of there they are. Fans Hobby VE03. Yeah, so theirs actually looks more like a vehicle, more like a model, but it's scaled for 6-inch.
So hold on 1 second. Let me get the picture up real quick, and then we'll switch over and show what you're seeing.
Okay.
Do. Something's afoot. So I saved it and can't see it in the folder where I saved it.
Oh.
So I thought maybe I put it in the wrong folder, but then when I go to save it again, it's definitely in the right place, and I can see it.
Weird. Okay.
It is. I think my computer needs a restart, which isn't going to happen right now. Okay, I got it. Here we go. Boom. So this is the image Mike sent me. So this is a render.
Yep.
It's a very nice render, but this is not 3D printable.
No, so that is from the Fans Hobby. They actually molded this. This is a molded plastic toy that you can purchase.
And it's like a model though. It's like a bunch of pieces and you put it together.
No, I think it comes as a complete vehicle. You can take a look at it. I just sent you the link to it. It's a company called Fans Hobby. They've been getting into some trouble recently in that they made an exact replica of the Skyhawk, and then
that's them.
Mm-hmm. So well, then
they made like some extended wings for it, right?
Exactly.
I saw it at Joe Fest.
Oh yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it's so dumb. I'm not saying that thing is dumb. I'm saying in my mind's eye, they should have done something to update it ish.
Yeah. Well, I think they're in the exact same problem that Hasbro runs into itself. Is you've got some people that want it identical, you got some people that want it modern.
Yep, very fair.
The Skyhawk itself is it's an iconic vehicle, but it's also so freaking goofy.
Oh yeah,
it's like the bumblebee of flight. There's no reason that thing should fly.
Right.
But this is their version of an all striker, which is kind of half all striker, half modern. And I sent you the link for it, and it is not a bad looking toy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean they're selling. Again, you could almost argue that the price is high. It is a fan built thing. It's $129. No figure. You can actually buy the classified Hasbro All Striker with the big goofy wheel or with the missized wheels for $100 with a figure. But this does look better. Looks more realistic, I should say. They're kind of closer to a model than a toy.
Right. That I'm fucking really impressed.
Yeah.
With this engine work that they've done, that they've actually got it built. Because like there's so many little fucking undercuts in there.
Mm-hmm.
That has to be
exactly. Yeah.
That's why I was like, this is a render. You couldn't actually make this.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, you can. You just have to be willing to make lots of little pieces and then put them together.
Yeah.
Which typically no one does.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, there's a goddamn timing belt. Like, all these little hoses.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
This makes me want to buy this thing just as like a high five to them for actually making it this way.
Yeah, it's a nice looking, it's more than to me. I think this exceeds what a toy is, because I think it's like area like that's probably too detailed that as a kid you wouldn't want to play with it. I think it also lights up, if I'm not mistaken. I think all
those are actual wires going to the lights. And that's probably covering like a watch battery or something.
Yep. Yeah, it looks like the wheels actually turn. They have independent.
They've got that's a spring. They've each got their own suspension. Like that, they did this for the axle is absolutely bananas. That they built it that way. What I gotta back out and see what the actual price was. I know you were talking about it a minute.
Well, $129.99. Not sure what pre-order sold out means in this case.
Yeah. Good for them, man.
Yeah. It's a nice looking vehicle. I've seen people already get it, and they've done some toy photography with it that looks amazing.
Cool. Yeah. For the amount of tooling they needed to do for this thing, for what is not a large scale company.
Yep.
That price seems right. Is a question of can you, if this is something you want and can afford it, I think it's worth the price, because they've gone so far and above and beyond.
Yeah. And looking at what else they offer, they tend to be more on the Transformers side. So they have all kinds of their own personal Transformers. And I can't tell if they transform or not. I'm guessing they do. And obviously Transformers fans, there's a lot more of them than there are Joe fans.
Yeah.
I think these look to just be, oh no, holy cow, Transforms. Okay. So this is a company that makes their own Transformers.
Okay.
So I think they are just starting to get into.
We're going to have to actually get into Fusion at some point, but I do want to look.
Yeah, if you just, on that Big Bad Toy Store, if you just click on the link.
Just click on Fans Hobby.
Yeah. And they have their own version of the Fang.
What?
Yeah, it looks like they...
Oh, that must be new.
Yeah, it actually looks like they took some of the parts from their Skyhawk and just modified it to make it the Fang. I don't know.
It's certainly not.
It looks like the America's Defense version of the Fang that you would have found at Kmart.
That was the one that came out, 4 or 5 years ago?
No, the America's Defense one would be, I'm thinking back from the 80s, where you would have the G.I.JOE vehicle on the shelf, and then there was the knockoff company that would make something that would kind of look similar.
Because Hasbro made that new Fang.
Oh yeah, the new Fang.
And that thing is horrible. That's like the Make-A-Wish, or not Make-A-Wish, the Wish.com version of a Fang.
The Temu version of the Fang.
Yeah, I loathe that version of the Fang.
Yeah.
And honestly, for me, the difference between like how that one sucks and this one doesn't is the tail.
Oh, yeah.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
Like changes they made are changes that make sense.
True.
There was an issue of the comic when the Fang 2 came out, and I don't remember if it was like a Cobra Island, like it was around that time. I guess it would have been when the Fang 2 came out, whenever that was.
Okay.
And there was a Fang 2 coming in, and I want to say like Charbroil or Blowtorch took it out because they were like, "Oh shit, that's that new Fang 2." And he's like, "Yeah, but it's still got the major design flaw of the first one," and fucking torches it. It's like the open cockpit.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
What's that?
This.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How
These guys,
helicopters actually work.
yeah, these guys know what they're doing. They seem more. They're kind of the crossover between a model and a toy.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! The rockets actually don't have those stupid little
Yeah. Things to
breakable
break
posts.
off. Man, good for them, dude. All right, we got to
Okay.
quit screwing around.
Yep.
And,
All right, into the fusion.
into the fusion. Minimize that shiz. Oh, minimize that. Where is the podcast? There it is. Ah, there we go. Okay. And fusion. Boom. Mike, we've wasted so much time this morning.
All right. So
All right.
basically, what you're seeing here from the parts that I have shown, there's my goofy looking engine thing. The axle, I think, is at a point where I like it to be. So
Right here.
yeah, if we take the volume of that, oh, ooh. So there is a. Does yours allow you to open all the? There's a part that's missing. Okay.
So you sent me that other file.
Yeah.
So
Was that the STL or which file is that?
This is the step file you sent me.
The step file. Okay, so I sent you the other
Right.
file.
I just hadn't had a chance to actually go to that.
And did you delete those files or did you hide the files?
What files?
The
ones that should have been here that aren't.
Yes.
This
No,
is
the ones that you just got rid of. You were just clicking and removing. Were you hiding?
Can you not see? Yeah, I was just hiding them.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really the only two important ones are going to be that top bar assembly and the axle that we can work with later, and those just set the constraints of what the engine should be. You know, where it can fit. But other than that, we can just start with the engine itself.
Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is go to a new window. Okay. I'm going to open and Mike and I were talking about this before the show. Like, I've never had a reason to really get into what type of file types to send and import and open and export, because usually I'm just making stuff and sending the final version to whoever. So within Fusion, you can save as an F3D file, and that is a Fusion 360 file. It turns out, after playing with this stuff. So this should kind of be better. You can still see what I'm doing, right?
Yes, and we can see everything. I can even do a right click. I can see your mouth. Let me make sure.
Pooping a hat. God damn it. You know, I spend like 45 minutes or so before the podcast kind of getting ready. Mm-hmm. You know, make the thumbnail, kind of do the advertisement, post about it, make sure I have the files and the images I want. What I did not do was the most recent update for Fusion 360, which came out 2-3 days ago.
Okay.
So it's not letting me open your Fusion 360 file.
Okay.
Shit, we're more than half an hour into an episode that I wanted to only be an hour. I'm gonna go through with the update.
Okay.
So Fusion's gonna close out.
All right.
I don't even know how to make this image go away. That's here. It's kind of irritating. Because normally when you're sharing stuff, it's either through the share thing, or it's kind of like a different person. And this isn't. it in an obvious place. It doesn't help that they, they do these updates with like no quick, easy explanation. Like if you want to know like what all the new features are and where this button moves to and blah blah blah, like you have to hunt for it on YouTube or so. Hopefully some creator has made some content on YouTube that explains the one little thing that you're trying to find. I like, damn them. So it's updating Fusion. I'm at like 50%. This is going to be like a 3 or 4 minute inconvenience. Let's see, like this. Like if I can separate it like that, why can't I access it to close it?
Yeah, that's. Okay.
That was stupid. That was the solution for that was dumb.
Okay.
Bastards. I pay for this software, man. Service. Okay, so Fusion's got like another probably 2 minutes left.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna be able to open this Fusion 360 file. It should come in and everything that Mike has in his original file should be there, and everything should be labeled and it should be nice and easy. I'll turn off everything that isn't what we're working on and or showing us the constraints so that we don't, create a conflict or an overlap with what we add to the engine. I want air filter. We might modify the gas tank a bit. I want a radiator, and that's where we're going to be kind of pushing the levels. That's where we've kind of did the math on that, and we know we want like a 0.5 millimeter space so that when it prints on the machine,
you can still see the detail.
You can still see it. One thing that I've started doing, making FDM stuff, is if I know my detail is here, I probably want it at a 45. I think that'll kind of give the best. Even though it's like, and on the Bamboo, everything kind of looks pretty good, but I think to maximize it, you either want it right angle to the plate or like a 45.
Okay.
45 seems to be best because all the way around it's going to give you like an even distribution of detail. Okay. Does that make sense? What are your feelings on that?
I usually print, I tend to aim for my prints to be essentially right angles. If it's a small print, like in this case, I printed it in this orientation. But this rounding is ugly. It is extremely ugly. Lots of lines on it.
Yeah. And you're always backlit.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. But if this back was much more detailed, then I would print it this way so that the more detail is presented in this orientation.
Yeah. And again, I think the Bamboo does an extraordinary job with that, but I'm still not 100% sold on flat surfaces where the nozzle's printing.
Right. Yeah.
It does a good job, but it's not. I'm still so biased in what detail you can get between FDM and Red.
And I agree. When a large flat surface, even though you think that would be the best way, it usually doesn't look that good because it finishes large flat surfaces differently. Mm-hmm. Like working on the hood here, it's mostly flat. You would think you would want to print it flat, but it's weird the way that it prints the flat. So something like this, I print vertically because you tend to get a lot more. The details are a lot smoother doing that.
So, let's call it preference and experiment at the same time. So we're gonna plan to print this thing at a 45.
Okay.
All right. What I've started doing is when I'm printing at 45, it's like imagine like a cube, like a dice. If you put that at a 45-degree angle at the plate, that part that's touching the surface is that thin, that 90-degree knife edge,
Mhm.
which won't look awesome and is probably the best way to get a print to fail. You're going to have your supports, and maybe even 99 out of 100 times it's fine. But when you're starting with a single little line connected to those supports, uh, I think, my opinion, not the best way. So what we'll do is at the point where the piece is lowest to the plate, we do a bevel, like a 45 bevel, so that the piece actually has a flat part that can touch the bed.
Okay. Yeah. And then that way you can also orient it. I've been thinking about doing that on my parts too, like this hood. As long as I put a flat area where I know that it's going to be flat and right angle, then regardless of how the bamboo loads it, it's a face that you can choose to
That you
do
can,
orientation. Yep.
yes, and exactly, like there's no guesswork. You hit the little button that makes it put that face flush to the plate.
Yep.
Done. And like seriously, like the grip between the supports and the piece
Mm-hmm.
does not have the same holding power as the piece touching the plate directly.
Yes.
So that's our preference. So that's how we're going to build it. Um, you bastard, Fusion. I had those windows open and it's trying to get me to save them. Like, no, just do the damn restart. There we go. Anywho, so I think we've done all the talking. Fusion will be back up here in a second. I'll share it, and we are gonna jump in there and knock it out as quickly as we can.
All right.
So again, air filter, like an alternator,
Alternator, timing belt of some sort.
maybe. And I say that because I think it might be. I think where that belt would be is on the back,
Oh, okay.
so that you're not going to see it. And this is why I'm comfortable saying we'll bevel the one corner so we can stick it flat on a 45. We're going to put that 45 facing away from where you're going to be looking at it, so
Yes.
it'll be concealed and hidden, and it won't look weird.
Okay.
Something is so afoot with my machine today. Okay, let's load this. So again, this is a .f3d file. It's loading.
Yeah. If this works, this will be. Oh wow! Look at that.
Yeah, you can see all that, all the
I
stuff.
can see all that.
Cool.
Yep. So this is great because what this also means is that once I'm satisfied with the files, I'll post this. In addition to stills and steps and everything else, I'll just post this file to the group. And that way, anyone that is using Fusion 360 can just jump right in and doink around with it.
So I'm just kind of orienting myself to what we're looking at. So I don't think we need the bottom of the chassis. We know we don't want to go below that plane.
Yep.
There's no reason to mess with any of that.
You can. The only difference would be you'll want that when we finish the part, it'll be a block. Then we'll want to cut the hole that the axis interfaces with.
Well, it's there.
It's kind of there. Yeah, we'll want to update it with the axle that you have is the latest version of the axle. That specific hole is not cut for the latest version of the axle.
I see.
It's actually a little small, so the current axle would not fit in it.
Here's what I'm going to say, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't have a lot of time, we're going to do the engine part.
Yep.
and then you can make sure that it's going to fit
Perfect.
after the show.
Awesome. Let's do it.
That don't need that. Don't need that. So we want to not. Well, this isn't there, right? This is actually elevated.
That is actually where it is located in respect to the vehicle. So
Okay.
right now, if you put the engine in, then that, let's just call it an air filter thing on the top, does protrude above the bar.
Okay.
And I kind of want to make sure that no details go higher than that bar, because I have a plan for putting something flat up there.
Okay.
It doesn't really affect it in the current model. It's kind of a future concept that I came up with. So it's just, as long as it doesn't go higher than that, the top of that bar, then anything will fit on it.
Okay.
That's kind of my goofy gas tank.
Oh no.
What?
No. Well, I went to just put a little roundness on here, and
Yeah,
it instantly gave me an error.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. So, and the reason is it's this thing is merged with other stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So just mathematically, the software doesn't know what to do about it.
Yeah.
So, and sometimes because there's multiple things doing that, you can't know. All right, so I'm not going to bother tweaking any of that stuff right now. So I know I want what did I say? I wanted an alternator. What I've seen is it's over here on the left. So that's where we are going to put it. I'm going to get rid of this detail right here.
Do it. Yep.
Actually,
I don't even know what that was. That was a greeble.
Yeah.
That's all it was. Or what's is greeble the term in model making when you take the little bits and junk parts that are left? And
it's certainly close enough that I absolutely know what you meant. Gribble, Gimli. I 100% know exactly what you meant.
Oh, it is greeble.
It is Gribble?
Yep. Yeah, small relief details used to give visual complexity to a model.
Yeah. Perfect. So what I did was the trick Mike taught me not that long ago, which is ridiculous that I didn't figure out beforehand, is when I did split body, I used this face to do this cut, which cut it from everything else that's on there, and that's fine for right now. But what I'm seeing, see how there's like a shade, you can see where it was?
Yeah.
So what it's done is created a sketch that is active.
Okay.
And if you go to I like to click on, holy crap, you did a lot of stuff. If you go to click on it, because sometimes like a shape like this has a center point, and if you click on that face and you want to draw something, you can move the little draw tool around near the edge, and it'll snap to the center. And I really like that. But what I've found is when you do something and it activates a sketch that maybe didn't even exist before, it does this highlight thing, and you no longer have that function until you get rid of that sketch.
Right.
And so when I see this hint, this blue to pop up, I immediately go turn sketches off, because I hate going to do something and it's like it's not working, what's going on? Oh yeah.
Yep. You may want to step back. I think right now you're sharing the window. If you can, you might want to share screen. Otherwise, all the pop-up windows are not showing up.
I always do. So I'm not using like a 1920 by 1080 or even 2440 by 1440 or whatever. Like, that aspect ratio that's kind of standard. Because I have like a really wide curved monitor.
Okay.
And so when I go to share it, it doesn't fill out the whole.
It's a weird resolution.
It's a weird resolution, and it's weird aspect ratio. But if we want to see everything I'm doing,
I think it'll be important to see what you're doing.
I agree. I also am not a super fan of people seeing what's on the periphery of my screen.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything inappropriate, but
There's
I
projects that you're working on.
I paid a credit card earlier today. Like, I got to double check, make sure you close that window.
Yeah.
And I can no longer kind of, if I come back over here to the podcast control, we've got
You
the
can't see it directly.
Infinity monitor shit going on.
Yeah, and that's fine too. If you just want to do the window and then talk through it.
It's the better way, for sure. I just can no longer, like, even like controlling where we are, like that little change I just did. I can't access that anymore if I'm in Fusion.
Oh.
So anyway, so here we are. I'm gonna leave the roll cage there.
Okay.
Because I think that's the smartest way to make sure we're not conflicting with it. I think I got all the sketches off now. Mike, you spent so much time on this.
Oh, I've been spending. I mean, of course, it's been over a year, and I've just piddling away at it. But yeah, it's a lot of time at this point.
So you can see this, like all the sketches I'm scrolling through and turning off.
Yeah.
Just for anyone who's not like a Fusion person, every single one of these isn't like him drawing a shape. And like, look at them all. Like, that's how many shapes he's created, or manipulated or whatever. I mean, you've got the timeline down here, and you can kind of get a sense of how much he's done, but like, just seeing this is a lot.
Well, the thing is, the file I sent you was, I think it says it's like version 7
or 8.
That's actually a copy of the file. I hit up to version 100 of it.
Ouch.
I went through and I said, these are all old. I copied it over, and then I went back and I said, okay, if this is a version of the part I haven't looked at in a long time, it got deleted. And there's still extra parts floating around in there, but it's, I tried to make this version. I decided to just step back and make the whole thing less complicated, the whole file less complicated, hoping that it would behave a lot better. And it seems to be, because it's a bit of a beast of a file.
Yeah, there definitely gets to a point, because Fusion's got a memory. It's recording all of these steps. Like, that's what that timeline down here at the bottom is. It has recorded every single thing that he's done, and it gets to a point where, and I don't know if it's the software, it's your RAM, like I'm not sure what part of it is like, hey dude, really need you to chill out with this shit. Yeah. But that's a thing that exists. It'll start to bog down after a while if you've done. I'm not saying you've done too much, but like for the software, you're starting to get there.
Yeah, well, especially when I did things like the diamond pattern and threads on the tire, that just becomes, I mean, literally hundreds and hundreds of individual pieces.
Yeah.
And
from the worst I've ever had is the, and it's not really diamond plate. It's like a diamond plate, but it's a hex plate on the bottom of the asp.
Okay.
Holy bananas, man! Like, it slows the software down.
Oh yeah, time. Yeah. And the worst thing about it is that, again, it surprises me that there isn't like a one-click texture type of activity, where you could say, hey, I want this surface to be diamond plate, and it just does it. Fusion just does not.
You're correct. There's a better method to do it, but it's not even a little bit straightforward. It is.
Yeah.
It is complicated. Damn. I'm kind of like. Let me get rid of that. You bastard. That's not what I said to do. So I'm thinking about this as I go. And so I had created a square, and then rounded it, which makes it inflawed, which is no big deal. But because I want to add some very centered shapes to it, I really need to start with a circle, not with a square. So I'm going to go back.
Okay.
So here's what I'm thinking when I'm doing this. I know I want this thing to extend out over the gas tank.
Okay.
And come forward a bit, just so it creates a relief. It's, you know, in reality, it would probably be flush, and it wouldn't touch the gas tank. But I want it to, because this is going to create support for the back end.
Yeah. Okay.
So I want it to touch. And that is why I started with the rectangle, by the way, because what I would then go do is fill in the space here and make it solid. And that's just for kind of like stability. So we're just doing crate shapes, doing an extrude. I don't want it to extrude so much that it needs serious support. Maybe a little bit, maybe none. And so whenever you create a new shape and it passes through another shape, the default is for a cut. So you always just got to go in and hit new body.
Yep. I don't understand why they do it that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of like little default things I would love to change.
Yeah.
Like here's the thing that pisses me off more than anything else, and it might be I don't know what creates the orientation. Let's say I click on that cylinder because I want to do an offset face and make it bigger. So yeah, so this gave me, this arrow's great. I can do this shit.
Yep.
More often than not, that arrow is hidden.
Yeah.
Like, it's absolutely infuriating.
Yep.
You gotta like search. You gotta like orient the shape until you find the damn arrow. Like it should always just automatically place it in such a way that you have access to it.
Yes, agreed.
And it's you know, looking at it head on, looking at it from this orientation, period, that's where the arrow's going to be. So of course, yeah, that's where it popped up. But a lot of times I'm using an image as a reference behind it, so I'm not looking at it from that orientation. I'm trying to match the width on an image. And the way this used to work is like where I click on that cylinder is where the arrow will appear. So if I click on an outer edge, like if I click up here, that's where that arrow is going to be. And it won't be a right angle to my eye. See, it's doing it right now. So it used to be if I clicked on the cylinder up here, like that's where the arrow is going to be. And it's not perfect, but I have good control over it and can still use the overlay of the image behind it to judge where I want to offset the face to. But it changed. Something changed about a year ago where it's only going to put that fucking arrow. Like, where is it?
It picks its own orientation on the
its own orientation.
Right. Yep.
Like, I still can't even see the fucking arrow. Where the fuck is the arrow? What the fuck is it doing down? God, this is what I'm talking about. Like,
yeah, it goes to a lot of times. It goes to the origin of where it believes the origin of the entire project is, rather than going to the part that you just literally clicked on it.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why it does that.
Yeah.
The other thing since we're airing grievances about it, I can't stand the way that copy works in Fusion.
Yeah.
It's like, why is it tied and forever linked to move?
And
very frustrating.
And then within the move, you can't even click on copy and then like make a change.
Right.
And by that I mean, instead of like move left to right, rotate from this origin, like if you go to do a rotate so that you can pick the axis you want it to rotate on, if you had already clicked copy, it's not clicked anymore. And it took me a while to make that part of my workflow is you click copy last.
Yeah. But my problem is I always pick whatever I want to move and then forget to click copy. So then I move the part away from where I wanted to be, and then I get back out of it.
It's so counterintuitive.
Yeah. I mean, if if they just created a copy command right next to the move command, it would just make so much more sense. But that's not what they want to do.
No, I actually called them once. I got a human being on the phone. I'm like, look, this is absolutely killing me. Like, you've got to do something. And they're like, and this was a human. They're like, we'll make a note, and send it over to the engineers, and blah blah. Nothing changed, and I never heard anything back. Just my dumbass calling them and being like, look, this is horrible. This is stupid.
Yeah.
Why? They're not going to make a change. Like, all the users would have to do the same thing, which isn't going to happen.
Right.
But it is so damn infuriating. All right. So here's a fun trick. I'm doing it wrong. Shit. Do I want to do that? So what I'm going to create, I'm just going to create like little details on here to make it look like a motor.
Okay.
And if you're not like an engineer person, there's a difference between a motor and an engine. One is electric, one is combustion, right? So like your alternator it's a generator, which is just a motor that instead of power being put to it, I'm oversimplifying, but like a motor and a generator are essentially the same thing. It's got magnets and electromagnets. When you apply power to it, spins the motor. When you spin the motor, the electricity kind of goes the other way. There's it's obviously more complicated than that, but Mike, if I'm talking out of my ass, feel free to say so.
Nope.
That's essentially what's happening. So we're basically just making this look like a motor. So inside here, imagine there's some magnets, and then in the middle there's different arms with electromagnets on them. And typically you're going to have, there's friction in there, there's electricity being generated. So you've got vents, and they're usually just kind of concentric. That's not even the right word. It's just holes. So I'm creating some symmetric looking holes on this face. God damn it! Did I do it? Okay. So now we're back. You son of a bitch. When you go, this is that thing I was talking about earlier. When you select a face to draw on it, it activates a sketch. You can see it. This sketch is that different shade of bluish gray.
Yep.
It activated that sketch, which I don't want, but it's not interfering with that little face in the middle that I'm using as an origin point, so I don't need to go turn it off immediately. So what I'm going to create is a series of sketches to create a face, which I can then extrude to create a cut. Hopefully this one works. I think that face might have turned blue. Yeah, see how I can no longer select that origin point, even though I selected that face? It's because the sketch turned on. That's the only problem with overlapping. Oh God, it's gonna be at the bottom. That's the only problem with the. And now I have to just be careful because I don't want to turn off one of the sketches I'm actually trying to use. There we go. What's this one? Who cares? So it looks like I can access it. If this whole circle right here was blue, and I can no longer access the center point of that circle, what I could do is out here still grab this circle, which has the same center point.
Yep.
And then use that. What are we thinking about? There we go. So grab it. Circle. Okay. So we've got a bunch of little shapes here. So I think what I'll do is just split face and kind of one by one dial into. You know what? Fuck that. We're gonna do split body. A split body is always cleaner than a split face.
Okay.
So and it's really easy to just recombine them. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I almost never do split face. I split body and then just recombine the parts that I didn't want split. These fucking programs sometimes. Like, I swear to God, this program's getting worse as they do updates.
Yeah, it's
Like seriously, like before we started today, I had to stop and do an update, and the functionality has absolutely changed.
Yeah.
It's not performing body split, that one, splitting tool. There we go. It's just like, fuck, dude. Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking. So if I had tried to do a split face to get to this part right here, all these little splits would still exist, and there would be no way for me to go and make those extra faces go away. Those faces are split forever. But because I did a split body, I can recombine them, and all those faces are gone. And that is the reason I say don't do split face, do split body, because you can reconnect it, and you're not dealing with, there's not a bunch of extra faces on here, which creates like extra math for the machine and extra bullshit. Anyway, I probably shouldn't have done right angles, but it's not a big deal. We can absolutely kind of tweak that here in a second. So I'm just going to come in. We'll just do a millimeter. I think that'll do. And I'm going to bring these faces back around just to show this.
If you want it to be the smallest noticeable height, I think you could do 0.5. If you just want to, add the detail itself. But
go ahead.
Go ahead.
This hole in theory like goes well into this piece.
Yeah.
And I think at a millimeter, hopefully it shouldn't need a support.
Okay.
So I'm going to recombine those. I'm going to just do an extrude from this shape I've created. But I don't want it to join. I want it to be a new body. And I should be able to now just do a pattern. I'll do circle pattern. I grab that, grab any of these circles as an axis. And I like that a lot with the 3.
Yeah.
And now I can just come in and make cuts out of all of those.
Nice.
Yep. Now this I'm going to push that back in a little bit because I don't want it to have to get supported. And I am going to do a little fillet right here. And again, I am anti angles. So I'm going to do fillets on every single little corner that I just created. I think that's all of them. Coolidge. And then we'll just grab these and we'll do fillets here as well. In real life, there's no right angles. Everything, if you look close at it, it's rounded. There's no knife edges on your cabinets. There's no knife edges on tables. It doesn't exist. What was the other thing I want to do? Air filter, which this sort of kind of is.
It's kind of an air filter-ish looking thing, but yeah, feel free to get rid of it. Now, one thing that you might be able to do, I know I had joined all the parts together, but you may be able to unjoin all the parts as well.
What do you mean I joined all the parts together?
I had joined all the parts together.
Oh, okay.
So those aren't separate parts, right? That's one big engine block kind of looking thing?
I believe so. So if I hover over it.
If you hover over that whole part and you do a right click on it.
Well, I found it in your folder. Yeah, it's like, and this exhaust pipe and this piece here, they're only separate
Yeah,
because I did that uh,
the cut.
split
Yeah.
that split body earlier.
So try this. Do a right click on the large engine body.
Yep.
And let me
Edit
double
feature.
check edit.
It's edit feature.
Yeah. It
And
doesn't.
then
What's
here,
stupid about it is you
combine.
can never uncombine everything. You always have to leave at least two pieces still connected. And it must have something to do with the way that it does the math. Or at least I've never found a way to unconnect everything.
All right, so I think it did it.
Okay.
Nope. Let me see that again. Edit feature, and what I want to edit is that combine.
Yeah.
And if this was,
yeah, and then usually you have to select all the parts that you don't want to remove.
yeah, you see what it did though. So, and this is part of the timelines thing. Mike's done so much other shit. Not. I'm not calling you worse shit, but you've done so much other stuff.
Oh yeah.
Since that it's gonna move stuff around.
Yes,
Like
exactly.
Yeah.
My workflow is it's like a dog looking at a squirrel. It's all over the place. I've never had a very consistent workflow, especially with as many iterations as I've done on this thing.
Okay, so I thought about it, and the decision the software made is fuck you. I'm not doing it.
Okay.
See.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is it seems like an obvious thing to say, but I don't know if I've communicated it properly ever. It's much easier to build it right the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of like the stuff I do for companies, like, if you send me a sketch and you're like, I think I want it like this, it's like I'm already terrified because I can get it real close, and maybe you want to just make one little change. I can't necessarily just make one little change. Sometimes it's easier to just start over and rebuild the whole fucking thing just to move something over 2 millimeters. Now, sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's easy and it works. But sometimes it's like this. Sometimes things are really complicated. You see how many like how many sketches Mike has done? Look at this timeline down here. It's not as simple as just tweak it, just change it, just whatever it.
Yeah.
All right. And I was probably out of time like a few minutes ago. Okay. I want to do this radiator part so bad, like we're doing it. On this side, is it safe to say I've got this much space?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So at least it's in the center still. That's nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build my little radiator, and I'm gonna build it on the right side where Mike has this already down, and then I'll just mirror it over and get rid of the original.
Okay.
That way I'm not guessing over here. Go right there. So sometimes when you build, when you do a sketch like I just did, and I use this origin point over here, sometimes you can double click and grab that shape and just do a move. But oh, cool, it's working. But sometimes if it gets locked into the origin point you created, like if you use origin, like if I had used that spot right there where the what is that, the Z and the X where they intersect, you can't move that sketch anymore.
Right.
Like you can go to move it and it'll like distort sometimes, but you sure as shit aren't going to be able to just select the sketch and move it like I just did. When that happens, what you do, come out, is you build out the shape. So no, what are we doing? All right. So, little hint tip number 2 before I can finish number 1. Because I'm building it on that face right there, it's following that original sketch shape. So it's created this hole right here.
Mm.
And it's just a continuation of that original circle. Or I'm not sure if that's a circle. It looks like you created a square and then like.
And then I chamfered it. Then I filleted it in. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's got that hole, which I could have held shift and probably grabbed it. But you saw the first time I tried to grab it, I selected what was through it and not the actual hole. And now I got to go grab another one. The quick, easy way to do that is you just turn the bodies off. And now I can easily kind of grab everything. And it's not grabbing stuff that I don't want. And then just turn bodies back on. Then E for extrude. Yeah, about there. And then again, you want new body. So I did it, like I said, I did it over here on the right because I have this guide of how far to not go, and I don't want to interfere with this edge here, so I pushed it over. No big deal. Then I'm just going to do a mirror. I grab it. So now it's where I want it to be, and I can just go to that shape I drew and just do remove. And it's always remove, not delete. And like in this case where it's the most recent thing, it's not going to mess with anything. But if at any point in the construction it has interacted with another shape or change or tool or whatever, when you go to delete it, it wants to delete all those other little actions throughout the history of the thing. And you can crash the software, you can lock it up for half an hour, you can distort stuff you didn't want to change.
Mm-hmm.
So
it just
always
starts ripping parts out. Yeah. Has remove always been there? I just found out about it.
Yeah, no, it's always been there. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's not an intuitive thing to do. Yeah. So here's a good example I was talking about. Basically, I'm going to create a little indent to make basically a frame. And then like the grill part of the radiator will be inside it. So I clicked on the face of the thing. I hit R because that's how I get to my rectangle tool.
Okay.
I come over here, I get the center rectangle, and then because I'm on that face, I can come to an edge, and now I can snap to the center, and it won't do it for the other side until I touch the outside. See, it wants to snap, and I can come back and I can snap. There it is. I can snap. That's the center, and I'm using the center rectangle tool, so it's real easy to just.
Yep. Can you zoom out a little bit? Just want to make sure that you're still within the volume. Seems like it's sticking out.
It is sticking out, but remember I had it over here and I just mirrored it over.
Yeah, it should be fine because you can see where the other side is going to come down.
Right here.
Yeah, you should be good.
And like if I really want to double check, I can mirror it back, and you can see like there's a good 2.5, 3 millimeter gap. I'm just going to bring that in. Yeah, we'll do like 1.2 mil, I think. Other way, dumbass. All right, so that gives me like the frame for the radiator. I think we'll do like 2 little sort of support guide, protective whatevers. The only problem is I'm off center. So if I want them to be equal on each side, I kind of need to pay attention. So what I can do is draw it over here. And I think 2.5. No, wrong one. thinking. There we go. So I want it out, but not all the way out. We're not joining. We're doing a new body. And I think what I'll do is do it this way. I'm going to move that to where I want it. Call it right there. And I'm going to make that -6. So that when I do my copy and move, and this is what Mike and I were talking about before, I'm creating a copy. I have to hit this little button, create copy. And now I can move it, and I'm moving the copy. And so what I was talking about before, let's say I don't want to rotate it from right there. I want to rotate it from, like, let's say from, like, I want to use that circle. Like, there's no reason to do that, but just for the sake of argument, to do that, I would click on the rotate. And create copy is no longer clicked. So if I just follow through with it because I'm working, and it would make sense for it to remember that I wanted to make a fucking copy. Honestly, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, damn me, Fusion. I'm bitching about it, but this is the software I use because I like it. What are we doing? So here's another thing. If I'm over here and I right click on it, I get this window. I can do move copy, and that used to not work. You used to have to come over to the left to here and do that exact same window in order for copy to work. So that changed. Have you experienced that, Mike?
I have not.
Okay.
That's interesting.
It's probably still that way with Sketch, I bet. Maybe not. So what I've done is I've just, again, I don't have a reference point or a way to just, I could split this in half and then do a mirror and use that face. But I just did the math. Like, I know this is 6 mil, so I slide that over there. I'll hit OK. I'll grab this thing and just move it 6 millimeters. Ooh, see that? That's the shit I'm talking about. I'm telling it to move 6 mil. Nope, fuck you. I have to do it from over here. Now it'll move. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Why can't it do that? I'm glad that happened, so you don't think I was crazy making that shit up.
Hey, and you caught it on video too.
And I got it on video, man. If only like somebody at Fusion gave a shit. And it's Autodesk. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna create like a zigzag drawing, and then see if we can make it pipe out of a zigzag. In my mind, that's what radiators look like, right? Like, kind of zigzaggy. Yeah. And they all, they're never like perfect. Like, it's such a flimsy little piece of metal that it's always a little bit organic and fluid. So I'm not gonna just like create only right angle after right angle, and that it'd be easier because then I could just do like a pattern. Use the pattern tool to just duplicate it. But I in my mind, it would be too perfect. I've never looked at a radiator and there isn't like some little bump, some little imperfection. And especially like something like this, that's, military, it's exposed. It's not inside your engine. It's exposed. It's driving around in the desert, getting bumped around and shot at, blah, blah, blah. So I think not deliberately making it perfect is kind of the way to go.
Okay.
All right. So I've just got a zigzag, and we're going to find out if this is going to work or not. So I'm creating a pipe. So far, so good. When you create a pipe in this software and you create a cylinder, it's really hard to make changes. Like if I just want to do a fillet, like on this corner, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I have found it is always, always, always easier to do a square and then come back and round it after. That's my experience. And we know we want this to be like a 0.5.
Yeah, no smaller than 0.5, but in this case, because at one of the angles is not going to be perfect, you can't orient it to where you're getting the same direction from all ways. I don't 0.5, some of those details may disappear as well.
All right.
But we can try it. What we can do
let's-
is we can try it, we could build it and then throw it in the slicer and see.
Okay. We're going to do 0.6 just to give it a little, a little
Okay.
more of a fighting chance.
All right.
New body. We're thinking. And part of that is because I use that face as the thing. So it's not 0.6 from here to there. It's 0.6 from here to here. Does that make sense? So I'm going to pull this out a bit.
Yep. What's the height of it? So if you made it 0.6, does that mean is it 0.6 above the surface or is it 0.3 above the surface?
It was 0.3 until I moved it.
Right.
So now it should be it would have started because it started at the half point, so it was 0.3, and I'm moving it 0.248, so it's going to be 0.548.
Okay.
And I want it to overlap. I don't want to bring it all the way out and risk it not touching.
Yep.
So now we're just going to come in and do a shitload of fillets, which hopefully works. It should. And here's another thing I can't fucking stand. It wants to put this little thing like where I'm working. Like, stop moving. Just get the fuck out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, it's not landing it like right on top of, like, I want to grab this line, I click it, it moves. A lot of times I find, depending on where you're zoomed and all this other stuff, it'll pop it down just right on the thing I'm trying to click. I really need to make those go away for a minute or two. Did I miss any? Yeah, and it depends. Like, I just happened to click on a spot where I wasn't zoomed in and looking at exactly the wrong angle. But I really can't stand that little window wants to jump around without my control and be kind of right on top of where I'm working. And the thing I hate most is, like, if I'm drawing on like a specific piece and I grab a place I want to use as an origin, the camera will move to origin.
Right.
Like, it'll completely move from where I'm working, and there's absolutely no reason to do that. That was another thing I told the guy on the phone when I called that. I had just like reached a point where it's like I was trying to work, and the software, god damn it.
Oh, did you lose them all?
I didn't lose them, but I think I grabbed the back side, which I didn't even have an angle to click on. It like clicked through. Again, this is fantastic software. I really do like this software. I missed one. Oh, well. Like right there. Like, I complain because I love. So another kind of workflow thing that I've really incorporated, if you're gonna do a fillet, don't just start grabbing sides, because I can hold down shift and like grab two things. But if I got a bunch of shit to grab, eventually I'm gonna not. I'm not even gonna take credit for it. Eventually the software is gonna think I didn't click on something or that I did click on something that I didn't. And then you're screwed. You just lost everything. So it's always, always, always best to click on the fillet tool. And now I don't have to shift click. I click it and it remembers. And then it's really easy to hover over the next thing. And it is better, better, better practice always, every single time to hit fillet and then go click all the little corners that you want to change. If you're holding down shift and clicking along, it will cause problems. Maybe that's a little wonky looking when I'm zoomed in like this, but I think this is a shape that's going to give us our best chance of it maintaining detail when it prints. And again, it's only, this is tiny. It's only how many millimeters across? Like 29 mil, less than 30 millimeters. Like it's a relatively small thing.
Yeah.
Pattern path, grab my shape. Any of those do. Come. You can do it. There we go. That's about as many as we want to do. Did you see that?
No. What was that?
I got the number. I got it where I liked it. I hit OK so that it would just do it, and then it added one.
Oh.
I'm really selling this software today. And it's truthfully, like all the softwares, it has its own little quirks. And I use this software pretty much every single day for hours, and I know where I've learned to avoid most of the quirks. So I do like kind of saying, hey, just if you do it this way, you're not going to have a problem. And it's no shit. It's every bit of software I've ever used. ZBrush is another one where it's like, why isn't this working? And there's some silly little thing that click what you want to do in this order, not that order. Don't click it there. Click it over here. It's always some silly thing like that. And I'm leaving it sharp at the bottom for now.
All right.
That's not so bad. I want to fill in this hole. How do I want to do that?
Which hole are you going to try to fill out?
Between the gas tank and the main body, there's that gap underneath what we're calling the alternator.
Right.
And I think we're gonna make a cut in the alternator. Just move the face down.
Okay, makes sense.
So it just rotated the whole screen and moved, right? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Fucking why? They're absolutely unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I'm thinking is I'll slice the whole thing. I could do it like halfway up and then just pull that down, and it's not a thing that anyone would notice. But we can also use this as an opportunity to create a little detail. So I'm gonna just kind of cover the space of the hole that I'm filling. Split the body like this. It's okay. and I kind of screwed that up in that I had this in mind when I created the first shape as a square, and then fillet it to make it a circle.
Mhm. Yep.
Because then I could easily grab just like this little sliver of face that would have been here and pulled it down, and a little sliver of face up here, pull it up, and create it. Like what I'm creating is like to make it look like there's a
Like a ring.
yeah, like a ring that it's mounted into,
Yeah.
just like this.
Yep.
But I would have been able to extend the bottom part of the ring all the way down. Which I can't do now because I made a damn circle.
Gotcha.
My air compressor. It's an air compressor on there, like way on the other side of the. So here's what we'll do. We're gonna go to the sketch I created to do the split body, just right there at the bottom, and so because I'm doing that, it's gonna match up with this face and that face. I will have to wiggle things around, but it's starting me out kind of close to where I want it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's somewhere in between the actual body of this part and the body of the thing. About right there. Stupid body. And again, on this back side, you're not going to really have a great view of it.
Yeah, because it gets buried by a bunch of different stuff. There's a seat that sits on top of it. There's the armor plating. There's the bars that are going to block it up. So
yeah, it's a fairly hidden spot. So I'm not too concerned. Now down here at the bottom, I don't want it to interfere with this hole, and seems to not really, but it's hitting this rounded part. So
yeah, and that rounded part that could go away completely. I just literally threw a shape in there to bulk it up a little bit to match where it meets the axle.
I honestly, I think it's kind of fine. I think that is a completely appropriate kind of shape because you were right to put it there. You need something because this is where you said, the axle is going to plug in. So what it needs is something. It's out of sight, out of mind. I think it's fine. So we've got a little gap, but I don't think it's concerning. That little bit of gap right there. I can barely, I'm zoomed in. I can barely even see it. I don't think it's an issue. And I don't think there's any reason to put like wires or any of that kind of crap back here because again, it's going to be completely lost.
Yep.
But up here, this is the view that, just about like that. That's about all you're gonna be able to see of this thing. I think your belt's fantastic. Let's see if I can round these just a pinch. Yeah, belt's fine. You can have little detail, like the more little concentric-y circle things you put in here. It's just a little more detail, a little more eye-catching. This is fine as the air filter, honestly.
Yeah. I wonder if we want to put details around the air filter.
Yeah, there's
essentially a pattern of rectangles around it that just make it look like there's more than just a blob.
Yeah. So here's the one time that I will use a cylinder for a pipe, is if I'm doing like a like panel line. kind of around a circle. Okay, see how? Yeah, because I had used that center point as the origin.
Mm-hmm.
I can't move it anymore. It just wants to pivot off of that fucking origin point. So I have to create my pipe and then move it. So yeah, I had done a rectangle before, so it's recreating it, and I was trying to just say like this is the one time I would use a circle because I'm not. There's no corner for me to manipulate. I'm like ultimately like this being round is what I want. I'm gonna turn the frame off real quick because I don't need it right now. Is that roll cage? There you go. Yeah. So I created my pipe. Now because it's a body, not a line connected to an origin point, I can now move it. And all of that just so I can make a little cut. Everybody cut, everybody cut. And you wanted to do little rectangles. I feel like I have a fairly basic understanding of cars, but I'm certainly not that mechanically inclined. So
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, almost like a carousel. Rectangles around where the structure.
right, and I want like do. I swear to God, I had a whole window pulled up of these things earlier. So yeah, so the filter is going to have lots of little ridges and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but typically they're covered by a cap that's smooth.
Yeah, that's a good point.
For the sake of this design and kind of selling what this is, let's go ahead and put that detail in, and we'll see how it goes. Because again, we're gonna kind of follow the same rules we did with the radiator.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I'm thinking of an air filter outside of the cap.
Right. Should I just not bother?
Well, so I'm looking. I'm going back to the model from Fans Hobby, and they actually do have the details.
Okay.
So apparently, assuming they followed an actual engine, it looks like they really did their detail in this type of design. Yeah, you can see the exposed surface area of the filter.
Okay. So we're gonna do. So this is the one kind of time I'm gonna say let's split face, not split body, and that's because this disc, we'll call it, is connected to this other stuff.
Okay.
And so it'll kind of do us no good to split the body because yeah, when you're working with a circle or a cylinder, it just performs differently in the software. So the benefit of more convenience is lost doing that on this type of shape. Because all I really want to do is offset this little bit of face right here, which should be fine. It shouldn't be any issue. Okay, there we go.
Yep.
Cool. So that worked, no problem. You know what I'm going to do though? I'm going to pull this down and then do a chamfer on the bottom part, and that'll make it print a little easier, I think.
Okay.
And then we just want to add these details. So let's because this is centered, we're just going to go right down the middle with a line. We'll create a square pipe. I'm going to bevel kind of the sides out and then do a pattern around a circle. Now once I create this as a pipe, we'll have to move it because because I did it on origin. And it's going to be a circle because the last thing we did was a circle. So now I go back to square, new body, yeah. We'll bring it over and we'll see what kind of adjustments we need to make. Yeah, that should work nice. So when you look at the filters, it's kind of like accordions.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're gonna just we'll draft that. What is that, 30? Oh, that should be fine. 45 would definitely be too much. Let me just round this edge. And I might, once I do this, I might pull it out a little. I guess that's all I get. So I'll do a little bit of a move. And just remembering, like, I don't really need to move it too much because I'm on that origin point, so I know when I'm pulling it out, I'm pulling it the right way. All right, and now we're just going to do a pattern, circle pattern. Bodies, that one, axis, this one. So circle pattern's kind of cool. There's full circle. Let me get a couple more out here. 15. Oh, that's way too much. Oh, that's 315. There's 15. So full circle. You can see they're going all the way around, which is just not necessary because I didn't even offset the face back here. Like you can't see them; they're hidden. So we can go partial, and then
I think you can do.
Yeah, I can move it, but you can pull it all the way around, and the other option is symmetric, and that's different from the starting point. And then I just need to kind of pull that back so it disappears back there a bit, and then what I didn't know and what I don't like is that I can no longer change how many are there. There we go. So there's a slider here that's controlling it now.
Okay.
So 12 or 13. At 13, they overlap. At 12, there's a little gap. I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, just like that. Cool. And I think for today, that's all the time I've kind of got.
Okay.
Good believable detail.
That's good.
It deserves some more something.
Yeah. Let's look at that bevel that you wanted to do for printing purposes. You were talking.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, let's cover that.
Yeah.
Because I'm intrigued on that as well. So you were thinking of a 45-degree angle.
Yeah, it'll just be a little 45 right here. So, but we don't want to interfere with this.
Correct.
So what I'm gonna do is figure out where the hell this is. Engine, new engine. There we go. I'm gonna go to opacity control and put it like 40. So now I can visually see exactly where that hole is. And like I want this to be a 40. God damn you! I want this to be a perfect 45. I'm just gonna create a shape. Now I could draw it and then do an extrude and do a cut. But it's just not my preference to work that way. So I'm creating a positive shape, a new body.
Okay.
I'm going to grab it. And then I'm just going to do 45, just like that. And then I can very easily move it
get in there and chop it off.
find what I think is a safe place to kind of it. You know, technically this is a Boolean operation where I'm subtracting one shape from the other, and poof, that's it.
Okay.
So all this needs to get merged. That looks like it's working. So we're just gonna merge all that together. And like for real, like I've got this weird half shape happening now that needs to be addressed. And
I'll play around with cleaning that off. And you know,
I think it'd be really easy to create some hexes, and then just like pull them along. Like because of this shape right now, you couldn't, and because of this now, you couldn't do it. But I would create some hexes to represent bolts along here.
Okay.
Like you create one, you do pattern on a path, you drag it along there. If they start interfering with anything, just delete those individual ones, and then just do a mirror to make them plop over on the other side symmetrically.
Okay.
Like, you know, no big deal. But that'll be a great way. Where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, so I did that merge. We've got our 45. I'm gonna export this thing. Name it first. It was new engine before. I'm just going to call this engine 3D. And that is not a 3D. Same as mesh. It's an STL. Put it. Printing, product Scorpion. Here we go. So sharing. Where's the podcast? Ah, there we go. All right. Yeah. So we'll throw it in the slicer real quick, and take a look at like what we were talking about, how we're gonna lay that face we created flat.
Nice.
Oh, bless you. Oh, gross.
Thank you.
No. Doesn't want to that's weird.
Oh, what's that?
It's telling me screen sharing's not allowed.
In Bamboo?
Yeah. We did it a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's strange.
It's very strange.
Maybe how in the world is it able to do that? That's very strange.
I don't know. Somebody at Bamboo saw our last podcast and like doesn't want us associated with their software.
Could be. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, that tracks. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Well, right, because I'm sharing entire screen, not.
Oh, rather than the window.
Yeah. All right. So get the top. There we go. It's been a little while since I actually brought something in. I've been kind of in a manufacturing process. And well, so real quick, device storage model. And so this is all the stuff I've been printing lately. And so I've just been coming in here and I just grab the thing I want to print. I hit print, and I'm not reslicing it. Like all the settings are just the way I want them. So this is what I've been doing for the last 2 weeks. I haven't actually loaded a new something in here.
Okay.
That's I forgot how to do it.
Nice.
Yeah. me. Come on, man. Dude, this machine needs a restart real bad. Part of the problem is I built this computer as like a high-end gaming machine.
Okay.
It's got like a nice i7 processor. It's got like a 1080 Ti, but I cannot upgrade from Windows 10, and
Really?
which is almost it's not supported anymore. Every time I log into Fusion, I get a warning that it's no longer going to be supported. Like I am now forced to buy a new machine.
Yeah.
And this is I play games on this machine with no issue. Like it rips, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah. What generation i7 is it?
I'd have to go look. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, how many years ago?
7.
Okay. Yeah, that would be. You're talking probably 7th, 8th gen. Then yeah, that would be the cutoff for Windows 11.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah, like yes, there have been changes, but I feel like this was a deliberate choice on their part to not support this shit.
Yes. Yeah.
This is, even though this machine is as old as it is, and I have purchased gaming PCs for my kids like within the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
This is still the most powerful machine in the house.
Yeah.
Like by far. There's
Yeah.
no reason. There's no actual reason to not support.
No, both Microsoft and Intel, pulled the carpet back or pulled the curtain back. Both Microsoft and Intel have independently baked in forced obsolescence. They will both tell you which processors are no longer acceptable or which operating systems are no longer accessible with the pairings. And it's because they reached a point where computers were good enough and the technology wasn't moving along fast enough to where people needed. Like you said, it's a 7-year-old machine and it works just fine. And I think to protect themselves, they basically came to the point of saying, we just won't even allow this new operating system to load on the old hardware. And tough.
All right. So I brought it in. I put that face down because that's the best support you're going to get is when the actual piece is touching the build plate.
Yeah.
It's got a couple little bits of support. I'm really surprised that this edge right here does not.
Yeah,
isn't that weird?
Yeah.
And that's really weird. I'm curious. Like so far, like every time the bamboo or this slicer anyway has like done some silly shit like this, I'm like, there's no way that's gonna fucking print.
Yeah,
it just kind of works. It just kind of sort of works. So I'm gonna take it at face value and say that's probably gonna be fine.
Okay.
There's our radiator.
Okay,
that should be okay.
That's good.
There's our air filter. That looks okay.
Wow. That's
So yeah, that's
good.
it. Yeah.
Cool.
At some point, I'll print this, and next week.
Send me the part.
Yeah, of course. I'll send you the F3D file, so you know.
Yep. I'll modify it to work with the new axle and get it in the play it around. I might go in and add some of those extra details like you were talking about. Throw some nuts in. See if I can kill that weird little half part that was left behind.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to kill it so much as add another something.
Yeah,
over.
And adding another something would make another greeble.
Yes. So there we go. Next, hopefully next week we'll come back and do another show, and we'll have a print of this. Hopefully that we can say from last week.
I'll have something to play around with then. We do have. Then it's Joe Lanta in 2 weeks.
Yes. which I'm definitely going to, and I assume you're going, like, since it's
Yeah, my plan is to be there as as many days as time allows, and it looks like it's a pretty free weekend otherwise. So I'll probably be there in some way, shape, or form every day. The site's only half an hour from where I live, so it doesn't really, I can just pop in and pop out as I want.
So I'll be there. I'll be helping Chris Scott at the World War Hell booth. I do not have my own table. We don't have a whole lot of people watching right now. Most people watch later on, like during their commute and stuff. I will be there. So, like, if you're one of the folks that has been like, when are you going to be back so I can get a head scan? Come to the World War Hell booth. I'll be there, and we'll figure it out.
Okay.
So if you're wanting a head scan, I'm there. I can. It's an easy thing for me to do the scan. So
awesome.
We'll do it.
I'll point it out, but I know Tim Haxton specifically has been asking about that. I think he wants to get his dad's head scan to make a figure.
Yeah.
So I'll inform him as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
I did my dad like very recently.
Okay. Nice.
Man, I'm happy with it. So next week maybe we'll show that off. I don't know.
Okay. Are you? Are we going to be doing a presentation?
I think it's too late for me to push any more on that.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I'd like to, but like I don't know if I'm even gonna have time to modify. Like if we even just decided we'll just do the presentation we had before.
Yep.
Like I don't know that I have time to make even little tweaks to it, which
okay. All right.
So yeah, I think we missed this year, and I'll just I'll make sure I'm not flaking out next time.
No problem.
Yeah.
We all tend to run across each other throughout the show all the time anyway. So
yeah. So yeah. All right. Thanks everybody. Cool. And we will catch you. Man, that was 2 hours. We'll catch you next time. And Yo Joe.
All right.